going on? So, before I start this live, honestly and truthfully, I was about to go to sleep. I'm tired as heck. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm tired. Um, and what my attention to this was something that I seen online, and I kind of woke up to it. I had taken a little nap or whatever. Around about 3 o'clock this afternoon. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Make sure y'all hit that like button. And at first, honestly and truthfully, I was like, oh, okay, here's another one of these deals or whatever. But let me share this first. Get this out. Get some more people in here. Been a few minutes, but when I started watching this, I said, oh, they got another shooter. I never thought that the shooter would be this young for one and be black. Kind of shocked me. I ain't gonna lie to you. This ain't usually crimes that Americans. Give me a second here. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me share this. Like I said, I'm kind of tired, but give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me share this one more time, yo, because this is a conversation. Trust me. Throw one more out there. All right, before this even begins, I look like crap right now. I'm tired. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I've had a lot of burnt out energy, but listen, let me make something clear here. Um, where can I start? Where can I start? Let me get a picture up of this guy. First of all, this is what this kid really looks like. Okay? Not this that they're showing. This is what they're showing you. Hold on one second. Showing the public. I want y'all to make sure y'all pay attention to this. This is what they're showing the public. Now, this face looks menacing. This face looks like it'll do something to somebody. This face looks like it's just menacing, right? But in reality, what you're seeing is the face of mental illness. Now, that's what he looked like at the time or the last time he got arrested or whatever. You notice he's got dreads in his hair. Just follow with me. He's got dreads in his hair. He looks like the typical kid that be standing on the corner or whatever, right? But this is what he really looks like. That's who he is. I want you to take a long, hard look at that kid. Look a long, hard look at him. Now, what he's suffering from is a whole myriad of things. I'm gonna get into reading stuff and everything else about it, but I want to give you some insight from where I see. I met a kid like this before. Let me tell you what I mean. I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm gonna tell you. Locally, I'm gonna keep that picture up around him. It's a kid that's locally. I'm gonna just put it that way. That I watched him change, just like this guy did. And I noticed one thing about him all the time when I seen him. He always had his phone out. Oh, he always had his phone out. He'd walk around, and this is the time when this kid was like, let's say probably like 19 or something like that. And I would just pass him. He always have his phone out, and he's always staring at his phone, like profusely staring at his phone. And so one day he was in front of me, and I just noticed he was on social media. I said, that's probably what majority of stuff he's watching, right? Just follow me here. So I watched, and within about 2 or 3 years, I started noticing, you know, you don't know somebody, but you feel the subtle changes in their personality or maybe how they speak to you, how they pass you or something like you just feel it. So I felt the changes in him, and I said, I thought to myself at that time, I said, it's probably he's just so, involved with your phone, you don't even see reality. But that's how this kid is. This kid was running around talking about he was Jesus Christ. You heard me correct. This kid that you see on the screen was running around talking about he was Jesus Christ. Now, he ain't the only wacko. Because there's other wackos, like the one that shot Charlie Kirk, the ones that tried to take out the president twice. We had a correspondence dinner this last month, and there was a black dude that was involved in that too. What you're seeing is a psychosis. And I talked about this before, and this is why I started getting back off of social media, because I started noticing tendencies with things, connecting dots that to me, and maybe I'm just a couple steps ahead of y'all or something like that psychologically, but I see it. See, the connecting dot with this kid is same thing, social media. He had a social media profile. He was involved in social media. He made statements on social media, and now the media itself is saying he had mental illness. I mean, he's clarified his mental illness. He had a mental health warrant, all kinds of shit going on. So I'm not making excuses for him. You're not understanding what I'm saying, because there'll be a couple people coming here and be like, "You're making excuses for him." You shut the fuck up, because you wasn't this mad and you didn't have this outrage about Charlie Kirk's killing, and that's the shit I don't like. So we got a new form of racists that are online now. I like to call it the recruiting for the Klan online. See, all this shit tingles back to the same thing online. Um, Ever since what's this guy's name, Chud, has come out, you've had a couple people that try to doppelgang, whatever. I want to give a shout to Tariq Nasheed. I think we misunderstood each other a little bit. I'm glad you're back to work. Yeah, get back to work. Anyway, talking about some fucking tethers. We ain't got to worry about no fucking Africans in the huts. We got to worry about some other motherfuckers right now. We'll get back to them. We can get back to them if you want to. But right now, I need you on this front fucking line, sir. Now listen, this is how they're going to come at y'all. Now listen very carefully. Now some of y'all pussy motherfuckers are going to listen to this and you're going to get scared. And I'm telling you politically how they're going to come at you. That's not going to be the face that you see that they're going to show you. This is the face. Hold on one second. I want to make sure y'all see this. This is not the face that they're going to show you. The show you is this face in the media. And they're going to flash that same picture over and over and over because it looks more menacing. They're not going to flash this picture. You know, I had to find this picture on my own. You know where I found it at? On his fucking social media. Let that sit with y'all for a minute. I found this picture on his social media. Now, listen to me very well. I'll say it again for you. They're going to show you this picture, and they're going to keep running that picture over and over and over. Okay, everybody got it? They're not going to show you this picture when he looks more menacing, and you can more congruence say, okay, this is somebody with mental illness. You understand? Soft picture, preferable picture from the media agencies. Nice picture, preferred picture for the media. I guarantee it to you. Keep that locked in your mind. All day tomorrow when they talk about this is not going to be a picture you see. This is going to be the picture you see. Get it? Capisci? Okay, good. Now, second thing, this is how they're going to come at you. Because right now I'm not considered, I'll get into the details of what he did and everything like that in a minute. I'll read it out to you. Trust me, I'm a fair man. What I want, I don't even know why I do this. These people don't even fucking like me. The way they're going to come at you, what they're going to do is they're going to use to eradicate every other thing that's going on. They go from Chud the Builder. This is what the racists are going to do. And they're going to do, one line now has turned into this area of, like I almost like to call it KKK recruitment. It's very, very vast. They have Indians involved in it. They have Latinos involved in it. They have other blacks involved in it, believe it or not. There's a certain of a group of black women that were literally in a chat room with a racist man. He was heading and everything. And they were talking about, what can you do to kill black men? This is what these women said. And people thought, they really said this on Clubhouse. We just kind of dead. That's another conversation, though. My point is, there's a lot of these people out here that are online and nobody's stopping them. Elon Musk is not going to stop them. He's a racist. And if you don't believe me, his daddy's even bigger of a racist, South African trash. But anyway, both of these elements play a part. And the consistent format is internet, the internet, the internet. Now, I told you, you're not going to see that picture of him floating around. You got to go look for that one. But what you're going to see is, you're going to see that menacing picture. And that menacing picture is going to be used by racists all throughout the internet. And they're going to try to make him the poster board of trouble. You know why? Because the last mass shooter, attempted shooter that went to the correspondence dinner, he was black as well. This is not a normal thing for black dudes. They don't do stuff like this. Standing on the corner, selling some drugs. All right, cool, y'all can have that. Everybody's got their vices, right? Shooting at a party or something like that, or shooting at the car, something like that. Okay, everybody got their nuances, right? But your nuance, white America, has always been mass shootings. Oh, don't make no mistake about it. Even if we had 5 more Nasire best, it was going to be the same thing. Now, how do I know this, and how do I know they're going to use this against you? Well, let me show you. Oh, I can show you. I can always show you. I never have a problem with that. This, where the hell is my tablet? That might be an issue. I went to one post and I saw them talking about it, and I said, "Ah, there it goes," because I know what to look for. Oh, I grew up with these people. I know what to look for. I like when white people think they can fool me. I love it. Racist whites, not white people. Racist whites. Racist whites have a some form of trauma. It's like you can know how to identify it, but if you don't know how to combat it, it could be a problem for you. Let me show you what I mean. Yeah, let's go to this one. So this is on YouTube, and I went to the comment section because that's where all the action is. I keep telling you that the action's in the comment section. Who gives a crap about what the story's about? A lot of times, let's see what's in the comment section, because that'll let you know who feels how what. And I've got a little remedy. I think we need to start finding out where these people work at. If you're that bold and brazen to jump online and say all this racist stuff, that's how you feel. And we need to know if you work with the public or work with the hospital, you might be a racist, and my grandma might die because of you. Let's find out where they work at. That's why I be telling all these black women, I want to expose this storm. I'm supposed to expose these motherfuckers. All right, let's get right here to this. This is one, and I want to read you some of these comments. Nasire, imagine that. So his name was Nasire, and under 17 comments, the first 4 letters of that name, it fits the culture. This is when one person said his name is Lazy Daisy. Persian name. Wes Downer wrote that. Normal Irish name, laughing emojis. Nasire, laughing emojis. Nasire, Persian name. Iranian name. Right, because I thought for sure it was Skylar or Brad. Chinese name. Laughing emojis. All of them are trying to indicate to you this guy right here, Steve Taylor. Great British name. This other guy says, do you have a cloud verdict or chud verdict or something like it, he said. Avia Shalom. Nasir is a Persian name. He must be Persian. This is the first elements of racism. Then if you keep moving on, anyone that attempts to kill has a mental problem. Now, he doesn't get the mental illness excuse like everybody else does. Emotionally disturbed. Do you think? Hold on one second. I want to find this more. There's a whole bunch of them. I might have to go to the other one. There'll be a little bit more. There'll be a little bit more relaxed here. Yeah, but it was a whole bunch of it. There's more of them too. Let me go over to the other site because that one's a little bit more raw. I'll go to that in a minute. I don't want to lose pace of the show. The point I'm getting at is probably a setup. I don't think it's a setup. I mean, how could it be a setup? I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like I'm just going over the basic elements, and then we'll get into the details. I'll read to y'all. I'll show y'all some video clips that I found and everything like that. But what I want to focus on is how this is going to be used. You understand? And if those 10 people want to let them go. They don't want to learn nothing. They don't want to get nothing. One thing I know, and that's why I threw up that clip that I just threw up, because 2 weeks before Chud the Butcher, I always call him Chud the Butcher. Chud the Butcher had shot that man down there in Tennessee. I predicted, and I said there's going to be more people like him. There's going to be repeats after him. And then I just watched the Tariq Nasheed's page, and he put up a video where somebody just knocked the motherfucker out for what? Trying to attempt to beat Chud the Butcher. So listen to what I'm saying here. I call him Chud the Butcher. That's what I call him. I mean, he thought he was a killer. You know what I'm saying? But my point I'm getting at is, people, this is going to be used, Black Americans. This is going to be used against you. You understand what I'm saying? And one of the biggest problems you're going to have, real quick, is you're going to have people that come in and they're going to try to interrupt your conversations about this. They're going to try to say that his defense of being mentally ill, even though he had a mental health warrant, everything like that, is not as valued as when they use it against the person that shot Charlie Kirk, is when they try to use it with the person that tried to kill the president, who still hasn't been convicted yet. You know, they're going to make it different. Not the White House, not necessarily even white media, but people in the comment sections. These people's in comment sections, just off one comment, you got to realize you can get anywhere from 2.5 million to 250,000 comments, 250,000 likes. I'm talking about engagement. You can get 2.5 engagement, shares, all that's inclusive of one total number, you know? So let me get off of here. Interrupt the conversation, talking about the wire. I remind him of Omar from the way like these corny ass niggas. But and that's the other thing you gotta worry about too. People like that end up dead. Don't worry about that. It's too much. Have you ever noticed lately that you got all these people online and everything that they leave behind is a laughing emoji? Is anybody now, listen to me again? If you see, there's a state called there's two of them. There's delirium, and then there's another one. Y'all give me a second. There's a state of delirium, and then there's a state of hysteria. Public hysteria is an actual. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all so y'all understand what I'm talking about. I think that's what's happening. We're having a point of public hysteria, and I want to tell you what I mean by that. I think it's induced by this right here, because this kid was mentally ill, and I'm gonna get into details of it. Just give me a second, but I want you to understand. I want to set up some things here so you understand the conversation I'm trying to have, because some people just don't have a idea what I'm talking about. So let me tell you what I mean. Definition. Yeah. So it's actually a mental condition. Yeah, here we go.
Extreme excitement or fear that makes people act wild or silly. There was hysteria when someone yelled, "Free cupcakes," in the cafeteria. Hysteria. Extreme excitement or fear that makes people act wild or silly.
Extreme fear that makes people act. Listen, here's another one. Now, this is mass hysteria, which I was just mentioning to you.
Today, most historians and psychologists favor a different explanation: mass psychogenic illness, more commonly known as mass hysteria. This is when psychological distress manifests as physical symptoms in a large group of people with no organic cause. Today, most historians and psychologists favor a different explanation: mass psychogenic illness, more commonly known as mass hysteria. This is when psychological distress manifests as physical symptoms in a large group of people with organic cause. Today, most historians and psychologists favor a different explanation: mass psychogenic illness, more commonly known as mass hysteria. This is when psychological distress manifests as physical symptoms in a large group of people with no organic cause. Today,
with no organic cause. No organic cause. This cause, and at one time this would be, she's a witch, right up in Salem, Massachusetts. You understand what I'm saying? This brought forth the Salem witch trials. What I think the internet is doing is, and a lot of proponents is on the internet, and a lot of ideas, a lot of skirting ideas, a lot of dirty ideas, a lot of insidious ideas, or whatever, is they're creating a public mass hysteria. I say this because I watch people online here. They will get into groups and they will go for days. I'm talking about days, talking about one person. One person is not a significance of changing the world. One person is not a significance of whatever. There's also people that there are significance and they go after situations like this. Let me give you a sample. They say this boy was going to kill Trump's wife. He didn't want to kill Trump. He wanted to kill Trump's wife. I'm going to say that for you again. This kid right here is the best. He was going to kill Trump's wife. Not Trump, Trump's wife. And there's people that are out here online right now that both oppose him and they support him because of who he was trying to take out. That is a problem. And I talked about this the other day because I said, back to the laughing emojis. There are situations online where people are dying, have passed away or whatever, and people will leave laughing emojis. Hysteria. And in the beginning, I say another 2 months, 3 months, how you engage in the public hysteria. Because see, you're now working in an environment that's crazy. That's what you're not understanding. The environment's already crazy, but now you're working in an environment, within an environment, and you've got to make decisions at a blog or whatever what you put out there. Now, what I find nowadays is a lot of people spend a lot of their time ha ha he key within the community. You understand? This is not laughing times. You're gonna be laughing, and these niggas are loading up pistols. You're gonna be laughing, and these motherfuckers are forming to come at you in all types of different ways that you never imagined. You understand what I'm saying? You're gonna be laughing and keying, and these motherfuckers are pulling down your block with 15 motherfuckers in the back of a pickup truck, and everybody's armed and licensed. No, the time is not the key anymore. And this is why I tell the men, stop sitting with the women. And you've got to start being, and women, this is no disrespect to you, but it's in your nature to gossip. It's in your nature to have conversations like this. It is not in a man's nature to do this. And when you encourage men to join into conversations with you on a consistent basis, talking about a key, a he, they start to induct some of that behavior. You understand what I'm saying? We've got grown men on here that key, and he, and I need you punk bitches right now to put up the keys and he's, because if you love these women like you say you do, then you need to arm the fuck up. Okay? There are groups that are watching this face right now of Nasire Best, and they like, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Well, I don't know, Maynard. Look at here. Let me see if I can do that boy. Well, I don't know, Maynard. Right now, they got Chud locked up. We had sent out the one out there for Trump up there. Now, Charlie Kirk, he's gone now. I don't know what we're going to do. I think the first suggestion we might have to do is maybe round up some niggers, show them, make them scared. And that's always been the motherfucking course. You don't believe me? I talked about Rosewood yesterday. What they do? They ran in there and scared the local niggas. Y'all talk about what was it called? Black Wall Street. What they do? They drop bombs on it. This is and for people that doubt this, you can actually pick up. They had a hearing on this, first of all, with the last 3 survivors, which is recorded, documented, and they had this right there in the state. So you can go see it happen in state government. And they also have numerous articles that you can go back in histories for your history buffs, and you can look it up and you'll see it for yourself. Tulsa, Oklahoma is the exact place. The oldest of the survivors were 104, 105, and 106 at the time. The only people that doubted is white. I think you're confused about the conversation I'm trying to have. See, let me give you an example. You could be as racist as you want to. You can sit around and you can talk about, well, the white people this and the white people that, but you don't understand the dynamic of the conversation, obviously. And I want you to stay here. I'm not going to block you. What you're not understanding is you have 2 choices in this country right now. So let me put it very blank to you, okay? Because what you're not understanding is they want you gone. Listen to me. I know that's harsh, but that's what they want. They want you gone. You understand what I'm saying? And they want the new working class, which is a batch of the new, whatever country you're from, immigrants, to replace you. A lot of white people feel the exact same way. I just watched a white soldier just a minute ago, and he was in uniform, and I forgot where he was testifying at, but it was at a public hearing, and he was talking about the Indian community in Texas. Go figure. What you think is a racist conversation, and you think hopping online, and because I see a lot of people that try to engage with whites, especially people that grew up in urban environments, no disrespect to you, but people that grew up in urban environments, they try to engage in arguments with these right racists in a way of history lessons. And that's why, where the black Egyptians were the first ones, and da. And these niggas are really looking at you like, I know, nigga, I'm the one that hid it from you. Why are you telling me about what the fuck I took away from you, boy? That's how they're looking at it. And you don't get that. You think you said some profound shit because you said it around a bunch of niggas. No offense. But you said it around niggas. It was profound around niggas. But to who you were aiming it at, they don't give a fuck. And somebody y'all that. And for all you older black leaders out there that they listen to, y'all need to start telling them that, because you fucking know that, because you engaged in it with them like that. This goes for the Roland Martins. This goes for the Tyreeks. I watched fucking Tucker Carlson dissimulate you. And a lot of people felt the same way. I'm not dissing you. I'm talking about on a cordial order. When you look at the feedback, it looks like Tucker won. You understand what I'm saying? Even though Tariq has some knowledgeable things to say, Tariq comes from an urban environment. You don't know how to engage with these people. And what I'm saying to you is, and he does come from an urban environment. The last time I saw you was doing shit with Michael Moore in Detroit. You was acting like a pimp. We're going to have an honest conversation. We're going to have an honest fucking conversation. Now, like I said, I don't think that Tariq is the problem. I don't think that necessarily these guys are the problem. I think what the problem is, you guys don't know how to interact and engage with whites. And you've always engaged with whites like many foreigners do nowadays. They try to be polite. They try to put their polite voice on. Hello, how are you doing? Da, 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 da. White people look for formalities. You know what formality is? Meaning like you're trying to be formal in an environment that doesn't require for you to be formal. Make sense to you? Meaning like you try to make people with your critique and your octave feel comfortable. When you're acquiescing yourself to make somebody else feel comfortable and they can feel it, they automatically don't respect you. They'll smile with you, they'll grin with you, but they don't respect you. You understand? I'd rather 15 motherfuckers hate me than have one fake motherfucker like me. I'm always like that. I hate fake motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? Don't grin with me, don't smile with me, and especially don't fucking speak to me. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm a different type of violent, and I know I am. And that's why I avoid certain type of conversations, situations, and everything like that. I know who I am. You know what I mean? And that works every time for me. What you got now is you've got a group of whites that are online that really haven't realized the reason they're mad. And I'm going to talk to you whites right now. The reason you're mad is an age-old anger that you've always had. It's because you ain't making no money. Sound about right? You ain't making no money. Mortgage due. Yeah. Leases due. Yeah. Mortgage due. Kids tuition. A little gambling addiction on the weekend. Only go out to eat maybe 3 times a month now. And you better budget that. Things getting hard. Well, as we know, always in this country, we've always had white folks, when times get hard, they bomb, Tulsa, Oklahoma. They go over here and tear up Rosewood. They go over here and do this, do that, do that. We've always done that. You've done it in Cuba. That's what y'all doing in Cuba right now. I've been very quiet about that because I know if I talk about that the wrong way, that's yeah. I got you. I appreciate the option though. I appreciate the option. Appreciate the option, Gip. Let eagles fly and soar, and may owls swarm the same. What do I feel? I feel that you guys need to start switching up your conversations. If y'all wonder what I'm doing, putting Manuka all on my face. Guys need to start switching up the conversations in the black community. And you need to start doing it soon. You're looking like fools online. And these people are looking at you like you're fools online. Somebody should be right now checking Sexy Red and fucking Lizzo for embarrassing everybody again. You know what I'm saying? And no shot at the Wayans brothers, but of all the shit y'all could have put out, y'all put that bullshit out because it's on your soundtrack. At her own record company didn't even want. I just want to say this real quick. Lizzo, if y'all don't know this, Lizzo's own record company didn't want to back that bullshit that she's got going on right now. Talking about, I know that, because what she wanted to do was she knew she had that single. Now it makes sense to me. She had that single. I want to apologize to O'Shea Duke Jackson. You were partially right about one thing. So they didn't want to put her back out there with the same look because she lost some weight, right? So she got this new song talking about hoes. And I had a problem with that because, and I'm going to talk about it later. I just want to segue to this for 2 seconds. She's trying to make it look like it's okay to be a hoe. And I'm thinking to myself, if I had a daughter right now and she came in the living room, she started singing that song, I'm going to check motherfucking what's her name in person, both of them hoes. You know what I'm saying? But it was just crazy to me that I saw that video and I said, the Wayans brothers is in this shit and they dancing with the bitches and shit. And, you know, it's just cheeks everywhere, whatever, whatever. Although I will say, Lizzo, you definitely tightened up the buns. The buns actually looked all right. But I'm like, right now? Right now, bitch? And that's why a record company didn't want to fuck with that shit. They was like, I'm not promoting this bullshit. Like, what's the segue from this? What's the segue? Now you a sex symbol. Sexy Ray, you keep doing what you're doing. If you had not prior had all them STDs, I might thought about it. But I can look at it. If I deal with black women, I like chocolate, motherfucker. I'm talking about black. Like my daughter's mother, I bless my daughter's mother was blacker than an ace, especially she was Haitian. She was dark as fuck. She looked like a black angel. I swear to God, she looked like a little black angel. You know what I mean? Everybody used to say that shit. I've had the privilege of dating some beautiful women in my life. But anyway, long story short, and I really do mean that. Shout out to y'all. DMX 1.5. What's going on, B? Anyway, yeah. I just I know how they're gonna come at y'all people. And what I'm trying to do is warn you how you can counter react on it before it start really sinking in and really start happening. And the one way I think y'all can do that is by being on the offense. Now, let me tell you what y'all need to set up. Y'all listen very carefully here. They're going to be, y'all got to realize this, it's always going to be and always has been sucker ass niggas. You go back to the days of Bumpy Johnson, go back to the days of whatever. What's going on, B? You go back to any of them days, there's always been sucker ass niggas. So even Malcolm, you saw who killed Malcolm, right? You're all agreeing, it's always been suck-ass niggas. So you're not going to escape suck-ass niggas. You go back to the times of Jesus, there's always going to be opposition, suckers, rallies around people talking about, they are the ones, you know what I mean? Take them to the guillotine or, you know, wherever it is. So you're always going to have these radical motherfuckers with this radical type of thinking. And this radical type of thinking is now turned into a public or mass hysteria. Now that's important I want y'all to use. Y'all can use it. I'm giving it to you. All right, I'm doing you a favor here. You don't see it right now, but you will see it because this is how you're gonna fucking survive 20 years from now. You understand? You motherfuckers are thinking right now, oh, we get the bag. All right, but you know, motherfucking money comes and goes. I worked in the music industry for 17 years, ran my own business, sold thousands of dollars, and sometimes it goes through. I can't even get a motherfucker to give me a cash app nowadays. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, B? But it is what it is. If I don't do this, I'll regret it later. Anyway, listen, this is how you're going to avoid this. So what I want y'all to do is, the way that they're coming at you, these racist groups is, and I'll get into the details of this guy in a few minutes here. We got a whole 2 hours to go. The way they're going to come at you is they're going to do this. And the way that I've seen them do it is that they get into these spaces, right? So you'll see them in these spaces, especially on X. That's the place I need the most vigilant motherfuckers. I don't need you in there talking about history lessons. They don't care. Take that, lock it into your mind. They don't care about your history lessons. They don't care about you were the first man in the Egyptian sword. They don't give a shit about that. They use that to laugh at you. You understand what I'm saying? They'll be like, there's one of them kinds, so don't use that shit, all right? This is what I want you to use. I want you to go, and I want you to go to the Department of Justice website. That's number one. And I want you, the second place I want you to go is the Department of Agriculture website. The third place I want you guys to go is the Department of Prisons websites. Within those, you're going to find 3 sets of demographics. Are you listening? Okay, because I need all y'all to simultaneously do the same thing. This was matters for you and your fucking kids. So fucking listen to me. All right? I don't you fuckers nothing. You do nothing for me. You don't donate to me anything else. So take this as a fucking, this one's on me. All right? Now listen to me. What you need to do is you need to go into these places that I just mentioned, DOJ, Department of Agriculture, Department of Prisons, and you're going to look for these 3 certain demographics. The one demographic is going to be white on white crime. That's the most pertinent of all of them. I want you to look for that. The second one I want you to look at is white theft. Okay? What you'll find is 69.4% of white theft is committed by other whites. The third thing I want you to look for is I want you to look for welfare recipients. What you're going to find very quickly is a disparaging amount, but it's same thing telling. So, for example, They'll say, well, blacks are on welfare. No, blacks take social services more, and Latinos take social services. But social welfare and benefits, oh, that's owned by whites, 69.4%. Again, weird number, but it's the same thing. You'll find that. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to go to the Department of Prisons. What you're going to see and what you're going to look for is the increasing number of white males that particularly have been arrested for violent crimes. Highlight that. So those are the 4 places I want you to go. It's actually about 5 or 6 other ones. I'll name some other ones along the way or whatever. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button and hit up the Cash App or the Super Chat if you can. I can use it. But we didn't get paid by YouTube. But you're going to use these demographics. And you're going to start creating your own spaces. Now, in your spaces, make sure that it's pertinent to anybody that runs it, even if you fucking feel this way. Never discuss white aggression. Don't ever do that. Once you do that, they eliminate you from the conversation. Well, look what he said about white people and where are they? Because what they're doing, they're trying to do this reverse psychology shit now, where they're trying to make themselves look like the same victim that you once were. The same tenements that you used in your argument, they're now using in their arguments. Understand? So when you said, I can't believe there's all this oppression and all this racism towards black folks and that, now they're trying to say that. The racist ones, not all white people. Now, why I told you before, the next mistake that I don't want you to make is thinking that all white people are involved in this bullshit, because they're not. They're not. Oh, there's white people that hate motherfuckers like this. Is that a little bit better for you? I got the light on now. There's white people that hate white people like this. They've been trying to stop them for eons, since the times of the Revolutionary War before that. Believe it or not, the people that y'all call the Illuminati, they were the biggest racist motherfuckers you can think of. I never tell them that, huh? Hey, y'all want a secret? Since y'all like all these secrets, the Illuminati and all that shit. They're an extension of the Klan. Ooh, I told them. You don't believe me, do you? I challenge you. Any white men in here? Does any white man want to disagree with me that the Knights Templar is not an extension to what you know the modern day Klan? Anybody? So I can talk about that one. Okay. I can talk about that one. That one's why I know. They just don't know. Anybody, any white man in here want to disagree with me about that? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. The Knights Templar is an extension of that, because I'll tell you what it was called right shortly after that, when they freed the slaves. It was called the Night Riders. And the Night Riders had the same Christian benefits, same Christian ideologies, and what some people would call pseudo-Christian, meaning that like these are the same people that got kicked out of England because they had different forms of thinking as far as you're talking about. Well, what's the name? Modern day Klan was created by the Democratic Party. No, they were not. No, they were not. No, they were not. You don't know what you're talking about. And don't come in my room talking about shit you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm going to make you look stupid right now. People, I want you to go right now and look up the Night Riders. The Night Riders transitioned into the KKK within the I think officially 1907, between 1907 and 1913, somewhere around there. They were actually the same people that are depicted, were part of the longer arm of them, that what you see in the movie 12 Years a Slave. Oh no, we don't do that in here. Don't do that. Bye-bye. Go argue with somebody else. Go argue with your wife. What you see is, because what he was trying to, the Democratic Party made up the KKK. He doesn't know the Democratic Party versus the Dixiecrats. That's what he was referring to. That's why you don't let people come in your room arguing about shit or whatever. Some people get off on that. Anyway, long story short, the KKK was, in fact, originally the Night Riders. Now go look that up and spell it KNIGHT. Night Riders, the Night Riders. Go look it up right now. Go ahead. And anybody that does look it up, please let me know what you reported and what you found. See, one of the things about me is my favorite subject in school was history. I'm very good at it. When I hear something I don't need to hear more than 3 times and I remember it. I'm a musician. If I hear right lyrics, I have to repeat them. I have one of the best memories you could think of. People are astonished by my memory. Now, I want to read this off to y'all so y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? for those that are not inclined. The Night Riders. After the Civil War, let's just put that in here. Because I want to give y'all the version y'all want to hear. Because some people, they need to hear it from, what's the name? So, yeah, and right below it, let me take this off real quick. Ironically enough, look what came up. This is why I know what you're talking about. 1 second. Let me take this man off the screen for a minute. As you see right, you'll see the Night Riders. And what's up below it right after that? The KKK. Let me read this for y'all so y'all know ain't nobody what's the name. The Night Riders and Night Riders are terms used interchangeably. And see, and that's why I told you there's two ways of spelling it, and that's why I spelled it out for y'all the way I did. So pay attention to me. One way of spelling, they spell it, which is commonly used with a lot of people, which is Night riders. And then there's Night Riders, Knight riders. Okay, find the difference? Now, the terminology Night Riders was used with the K, was used against with some of the people that believed they were a little bit superior than other whites. You understand what I'm saying? Well, the Night Riders more so referred to the people that were in the South and they was running after, slaves that were freely but didn't have the money or the means to get to the North. So they would basically entrap them and put them back into servitude, and even though the Constitution had said that slavery was illegal. Okay, so check this out. Night Riders and Night Riders are terms that use interchangeably in the historic or modern context to refer to post-Civil War vigilante groups. Their actions and histories after the war fall into two major categories. Two of them. Listen very carefully. The Ku Klux Klan, the first one, and white supremacist vigilantes. Following the Civil War, formerly enslaved people and their white allies were terrorized by secret vigilante groups, organizations known as the Ku Klux Klan. These groups capitalized on long-standing tradition of Southern Night Riders, tried to enforce racial heresy and strip newly freed formed slaves to their political and economic rights. You want me to read that part again for you? This is what you're talking about when you talk about Democrats. Listen again. These groups capitalized on long-standing tradition of Southern Night Riders to enforce racial heresy and strip newly freed citizens of their political and economic rights. History. During the Reconstruction period, these groups conducted nighttime raids. And it's also called nightmare raids as well. They killed thousands of black Southerners, drove families from their homes, and stole their land and livestock. Sounds like Black Wall Street to me, huh? Legacy. Today, the term is still invoked in historic and political discussions regarding the period of racial terror. Organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center document the history and impact of the white supremacist groups during and after the Civil War. The Night Riders of the Tobacco Wars. This is the interesting one. This is when they went to try to get the money back that they had lost formerly in slavery. See, a lot of people don't talk about this one. In the early 20th century, the name Night Rider specifically referred to a violent agrarian vigilante force that operated in the Black Patch region of Kentucky and Tennessee. Tennessee again. Who knows? History. The Riders, shout out to Chud the Builder. The Riders were an armed, clandestine enforcement arm of the Dark Tobacco District Planters, protective organization. They terrorized farmers, buyers, executives associated with the American Tobacco Company, the Duke Trust, to protest ruining routinely low tobacco prices. They engaged in nocturnal mounted raids, burned warehouses, and violently whipped non-compliant farmers. Okay, they were doing this to white farmers, but these are the same. This is a different form of Night Riders. That's why I told you it's two different ones. It's the Night Riders, Knight, and then it's the Night Riders, Night. I told y'all this before I even started reading this. Pay attention. I'm trying to teach these motherfuckers some shit, and they don't get it. The Riders were armed, clandestine. Okay, I read that. Conclusion: the movement was eventually suppressed when the Kentucky National Guard and state militia were deployed into the region. However, the pressure contributed significantly to the eventual U.S. Supreme Court ruling to dissolve the tobacco monopoly in 1911, and that's when the United States started coming in and regulating tobacco, thanks to the Night Riders. You don't get it, huh? These vigilante groups of motherfucking poor white trash actually drove the fucking tobacco industry, which before was independent, drove it into the arms of the government. When they tried to secede Texas several times from the United States, it drove Texas into a fucking ball. And I got to say this too. Maybe we need to start sending Greg Abbott some of his people back. That's what I think. Have you noticed, like, since Governor Greg Abbott, he did this thing when he emptied Texas or whatever, all of a sudden everybody want to go move to Texas and shit. I always found it odd. Let's get back on Nasire Best. I'm going to read some pieces on him because I think that's important. We can't hide who he was. He did something terrible. And in fact, we do have to talk about it. But what I want y'all to play, Lincoln, the first Republican president, no, he was against Demo and the Dixiecrats. The Dixiecrats didn't even exist when Lincoln was alive. So we're going to get you the fuck up out of here. See, that's why I said it's people like this that are dangerous. This nigga said the Dixiecrats existed when Lincoln was alive. We have a lot of people online that are uneducated. They exchange their opinion for fact. They don't look into things. They just voice however they feel. You understand what I'm saying? A simple search would have showed that person that just wrote that comment talking about, well, the Dixiecrats were born in the ride. There was no such thing as the Dixiecrats during the time of Lincoln. And the only thing you had to do was go dig up. When was it? Like, for example, this is what I would have looked up. What is the ascension of the Dixiecrat party? Where did they ascend from? This would have been very easy. It took you a couple seconds. You know what I'm saying? See, this is what happens in society nowadays. People are too lazy and too accustomed to ease, and I think also kind of a little bit narcissistic. And it also goes into my mass hysteria theory here too, you know? Another guy not working on Monday. Another guy not working on Monday. I'm not sure what that means, but I'll tell you what, man. I appreciate your racist epithet, but let me tell you something. Let me make sure I look at you. Oh, yeah, white guy. White guy with a dog. You got a Doberman. Oh, that's cute. You got a dog. Let me guess, you got 2 kids and your wife doesn't love you. You're about to be late on the mortgage. And Bonnie might take every fucking thing. Bonnie, why did you take every fucking thing? Bonnie, yeah, you look like one of them bitch ass niggas. First of all, bitch nigga, I'm more successful than you. I can tell that already. You're up at 12 o'clock in the night watching another man that you have nothing to do with this conversation. In fact, you're here because you want me to say something negative about this dude. So you were looking for a guy like this, right? And you know, this is just fucking terrible, man. And it's your best, man. He should know better, man. You thought I was one of them motherfuckers, didn't you? I know. What's your name? Adams. Ah, that cute. Adams. You're the type of guy that's been taking orders and taking it up to shoot all your whole entire fucking life. That's why you have to hop online and say shit to people like me, which you presume are not as intelligent as you, who you assume have not worked. Bitch, I worked in the music industry for 17 years. I've been places you'll never go. The first time that you'll go to some of the places I was in my 20s, you won't be 50 to 56 years old. So let me encourage you on something. Go back in the room with Bonnie, kiss Bonnie on the forehead, and hope that that bitch don't divorce you and take every fucking thing. Because that's why you're really angry. And tell Bonnie I said, and leave my shit in the microwave, bitch. All right, y'all. Let me continue on the conversation. I'm going to let this video play right here because I want you guys to check this out and see. Hey, but before I do that, let me read this. He threw me off for 2 seconds, but you always got to get back focused because that's his job. Another guy that working on Monday. Nigga, if you that old and you talking about going to work for somebody else and that makes you proud, nigga, that's going to be your life. That's the type of nigga that he ain't going to have enough money to bury himself. Man killed shooting outside, had previously tried to get inside. So this is the thing too. A lot of people saying he's the second time he tried to do this. Now, Nasire Best is a local Maryland man, which also was kind of odd. But Nasire Best, the 21-year-old shot and killed by agents outside the White House on Saturday, had previous encounters with Secret Service, court records show, including, and I want to let people know, he's not like he's traveling a long distance. If you've ever been down to Maryland and D.C., the DMV area is kind of conclusive to the same thing with the New York City tri-state for those that may live in the West Coast or may live in the Midwest or down south. Nasire Best, deep down south. Nasire Best, the 21-year-old man shot and killed by agents outside the White House on Saturday, had previous encounters with Secret Service, court records show, including one occasion where he was involuntarily committed to a psychiatric hospital. Involuntarily, that means he was really gone. Because usually there's laws, if y'all don't know, there's laws. One of the biggest problems we have with the law in New York is they can't snatch the people that are mentally ill or pushing people on subways or whatever, because there's a law enacted that these people actually have to voluntarily go and say they want the help or whatever the case may be. So a lot of people be like, well, why don't they just arrest them? That's why. Okay. Nasire Best, a 21-year-old man shot and killed by agents outside the White House on Saturday, had previous encounters with the Secret Service. Court records showed, including one occasion where he is involuntarily committed to a psychiatric hospital and another where local police arrested him while he claimed that he was Jesus. Social media belonging to Best, meanwhile, see, I told you I got his picture from over there. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button for me. Meanwhile includes one post where it appears he threatened violence against President Trump, and another post where he wrote, I'm actually the son of God. See what I'll be trying to tell y'all when y'all be talking, I'm the gods in the country. We'll get back to that. The Secret Service agent shot a man identified as Best by law enforcement who spoke to this news agency when he approached the checkpoint outside the White House, began shouting at officers. Another bystander was hit in exchange of fire. Trump, who was in the White House at the time, was unharmed. Officers encountered Best multiple times near the White House last summer, according to the court affidavit, which he's known by Secret Service. So he had tried to do this before, for walking around the White House complex inquiring how to gain access to various entry points. Oh boy, you don't do that. You don't do that. You put them on alert for you. He was involuntarily committed on June 26, 2025 for obstructing vehicle entry to the part of the White House complex. That explains how he was involuntarily committed. Okay, that explains everything. Okay. On July 10, 2025, Best ignored warning signs and walked into a restricted area outside the White House, the affidavit said, where multiple officers confronted him. Best claimed to be Jesus and said he wanted to get arrested. This kid wanted to die. Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's the end of the article. But let me explain what I got from it. Have you guys ever heard of suicide by police? Anybody ever heard of that terminology? There's a psychologist, let me see if I can look it up. I like to read things out, and sometimes I'm not the best at explaining things. This is a real thing. They even have a number for it. They even have a number for it. You can believe that? Yeah. Let me go. Let's go to National Institute of Health. That's where I like to go. National Institute of Health, if y'all looking for a lot of psychological stuff. Trusted site. You know what I mean? That's one place I would definitely. Okay, study and objective. Suicide by cop is a term used by law enforcement officers to describe an incident in which a suicidal individual intentionally engages in life-threatening criminal behavior with a lethal weapon or what appears to be a lethal weapon towards law enforcement officers or civilians to specifically provoke officers to shoot the suicidal individual in self-defense or to protect civilians. The objective of this study was investigated as a phenomenon for some individuals attempt to commit suicide by intentionally provoking law enforcement officers to shoot them. He was literally, I don't find anything funny about talking about people with them. You can go with your fake emoji somewhere else. This is a real thing. So, and here's the results. That's what I was looking for. Suicide by cop accounted for 11% of all officer-related shootings and 13% of all officer-involved justifiable homicides. Ages of suicide individuals range from 18 years old to 54 years old. 98% of them were male. 48% of all the weapon, 48% of them possessed a weapon. 17% had replica firearms. The median time from arrival to the officers of the scene was usually 15 minutes. 70% of the shootings occurring within 30 minutes of the arrival of the officers. That's crazy, but it's real. And I think that's what this kid was doing. This kid wanted to die. Yeah, it is sad. I think this kid wanted to die. And if y'all don't believe me, have you ever looked at the numbers? He was 21. Have you ever looked at the numbers? I'll give you an example. Black team. This is a thing too. I attribute this back to social media. Suicide rates among Black youth are rising faster than any other racial or ethnic group in the United States, with suicide identified as the third leading cause of death for Black individuals aged 10 to 24. Black children ages 5 to 12 are approximately twice as likely to die from suicide compared to their white peers. Urgent warning signs. Recognizing the following changes in behavior can help identify youth that may be at risk. Sudden withdrawal from friends, family, or normal activities. Expressing feelings of hopelessness, being trapped, or being a burden to others. Giving away prized possessions or saying goodbye. Noticeable changes in sleep, appetite, and personal hygiene. Increased irritability, aggression, and engaging in reckless behavior. They told this kid several times, as y'all heard me read, we see something wrong with you. I don't think it was in the best interest for anybody to start that on this side either, because I got to correct both sides, the white side and the black side. Now, this is for the black side. I don't want any of y'all to start, do not do this. Do not start the argument talking about, oh, he was unjustifiably shot. They're going to kill your argument because they told this nigga several times. God bless his soul. They told you, nigga, stop coming up around here now. All right, stop fucking around. That's like if you go up on the block. Let me give you an example. You go up on the block, right? And niggas tell you, yo, son, we don't like you. Don't come over here no more. Understand this. And you know every last one of them niggas over there got a gun, right? And you keep going back over there, sooner or later something gonna happen. Nasire took his ass over there several times. They even committed him one time because they were trying to save the young nigga. But after the fifth, sixth time you come up here, man, I don't say, man, you on your own. That's the way it go. You know what I'm saying? Play stupid games, get stupid prizes. They gave you multiple chances, and you kept going on up there. So, and I know a lot of people say that's cold, but just understand what I'm saying. They gave this year, I don't know how many chances, because they don't list how many chances, but just reading by that little bit right there, they gave Nasire multiple chances, and they told him, hey, look, don't come back up here no more. They, at one time, involuntarily committed him, which I knew had to come from somebody that was real strong. And then they said the White House did. I said, okay, that makes sense, because not even doctors can really do that nowadays. So they involuntarily committed him or whatever because they knew something was wrong with him, but at the same time, they were trying to save his life because they knew what potentially could happen because some men got jobs. Now, I went to theory that it was suicide by a cop. That's why he came back up there, and that's why he was screaming he was Jesus Christ on the social media and all that stuff or whatever. But do not make the argument that he was shot unjustifiably. Don't do it. It's going to backfire on you. Now, I say this with grace, and I say this because I know a lot of people, they'll come in, they'll say, oh, Lord, somebody will come in and say, oh, Lord, they could have shot him in his leg. They could have did this. They could have did that. This motherfucker went up there several times at the White House fucking around with the fuck around. At what point did you not think something was going to happen to him? You understand what I'm saying? And where was his people at? Because nobody, you know what I'm saying? Where was his people at? That's what I want to know. Because, see, we got to get into that one, too. This is this boy right here. And this is the picture. Because I know a lot of people looking at it, like, well, like, who's that in the picture? Like, no, this is the picture they're showing y'all. But this 2 years prior, this is who he was. Don't y'all find that odd? It's psychosis. There's something wrong with him. What was he walking up to when he got shot? He was walking up to one of the, what's the name, the gates. There's several gates around the White House. And he was walking up to one of the gates. If he had been If he had been diagnosed with mental illness, how did he get a gun? Let me explain something to you. When people say shit like that, right? I know three things. He said, "How did he get a gun if he had mental illness?" Okay, so just with that, listen, I'm gonna break down so I don't make you feel too stupid or nothing like that. Will is your name? Okay, so listen, Will. Your question was, if he had mental illness, how did he get a gun? Well, Will, I got an answer for that. First of all, you don't need a gun license anymore to get a gun. I can assure you of that. Second of all, you haven't traveled very much. If you go to the back of the White House down in DC, that is the hood. Okay, it's the hood behind the White House, and subsequently through all that is the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Anywhere along that line, you can pick up a gun. White, black, polka dot, it doesn't even matter because they all down there doing it. So I hope that answers your question how he could get a fucking gun in violent ass fucking Maryland. Kanye West voice, you ain't been nowhere, huh? Well, I don't know. How the hell he get a gun in Maryland? I don't know how the fuck he got a gun in Maryland. And when you say, well, I bet you was one of the niggas that gave him a gun. No, I wasn't no niggas that gave him a gun. Let me tell you what happened. Down there, they always leave this part out. Down in DC, Maryland, Virginia, all that, they have gun shows down there all the time, whatever. For at least 30 years, them motherfucking white boys was down there selling guns left and right. Didn't give a fuck if you had a license. You used to do the same thing in Florida. You used to do the same shit in Tennessee, Memphis, all that shit, whatever. Niggas used to drive, I don't know how I know, but niggas used to drive down to places like Tennessee or whatever. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. People used to drive down to places like Tennessee and stuff like that, and they go to the gun shows down there, or whatever, and they go down there and come back on the highway. I mean, you're taking a risk on the highway, but they come back. I don't know how I know these things. That's just what I heard. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I've been I've been to DC. If you talking about I was being facetious. Well, we gonna be fucking facetious with some fucking body else. I'm not a facetious motherfucker. Why the fuck do you think that I should adapt to it? I think you may be making an excuse because I embarrassed you. If I embarrassed you, I didn't mean to do that. But don't come in here talking about I typed some shit, so you should understand and feel my emotion behind what the fuck I tapped, even though I'm a fucking complete fucking stranger. What are you fucking crazy or what? I don't even like you here no more. Nobody just say conversation ain't fucking about you. Go fuck yourself. You ain't even donate nothing. I don't give a fuck if being funny or not. Go be funny with some fucking body. Go be friends with somebody else, nigga. The fuck, you know what I'm saying? Go be fucking friends with somebody else, motherfucker. I don't want to be friends with you. Anyway, long story short, these things be wild, boy. They be thinking they important and shit. I was being facetious. I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm talking about. These articulate battlers. This type of let me tell you, let me explain what I mean. He knew what he just asked me, and I answered this question. You understand what I'm saying? But the fact that you got upset about it and then try to come in and defend yourself about it after that, I was just being facetious. No, nigga, you really meant that shit. So just keep it there. I wouldn't have said nothing and kept it moving. I would have kept him here. But when you come in and you do dumb shit like that, I can't respect it. Anyway, back to the story. The way that Nasire Best got a gun and he was on a former Jesus Christ involuntary commitment for his mental disorders. The way he would get a gun is very simple to answer. I've been down to Maryland. I took you on this channel down to Maryland with me. That's another reason I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, y'all didn't see me when I was in Maryland. But anyway, it's still on this channel. Just put in Maryland and put my name behind it. It'll come up. I know Maryland, and that's my point, or whatever. If you know the area, you know DC, Virginia, and all this stuff, or whatever. And I'm not saying from my experience, but from what I've heard in previous years, things like that. I don't know how I've heard these things, but you could go to gun shows, and the guys at the gun shows, they were running wild with it. You go down to Tennessee and places like that or whatever, you could pick you up a hawk. You know what I'm saying? You could pick you up and what I mean a hawk, y'all thinking I'm talking about the blade. I'm talking about a hawk, like some shit. You got the whole. and motherfucker, get your ass there, sit your ass there. You know, those guys at the gun shows, they were selling those shits or whatever. And sometimes, you know, they might look over your paperwork. You might not have no paperwork or whatever. It took very long time to shut them down. Yeah. But anyway, they eventually, you know, they caught on to it or whatever. But them guns were already in the streets. Some of them guns that circulating in the streets been around for the past 15, 20 years, probably had 19 motherfuckers touch them. So if you grab the fingerprints off of them, most cops know this. You grab the fingerprints off of it, you might have the fingerprints of 30 different motherfucking individuals if you're talking about the hood. You don't know who did what. That's a lot of times, a lot of murders and stuff like that get unsolved because you got a gun that's involved, but it's been touched by probably 15, 20 motherfuckers. What are you going to do? Bring all 15, 20 motherfuckers in? Any cops want to disagree with me? I don't know. This is what I've heard. So, like I said, yeah, that's a very easy way to answer that. How did they get a gun without a permit? Oh man, even if you was being facetious, I still want to get you the fuck out of here. You wasted my time answering that question. You know what I'm saying? At least put some fucking laughing emojis around it. Anyway, back to this guy. This guy was warned several times not to come up to the White House no more. And they were trying to do him a favor. So I got to be honest here. You understand what I'm saying? So you call me whoever you want to or whatever. I don't care. The point is, the main is, you got to take reality into action. Now, if this was his first time up there and they shot him and killed him or whatever, and he had a mental disorder, I would say, yo, you know what? That's kind of wrong. I should have seen what he was, take him into custody or whatever. But homie, after you've been up there and you asking, where's this gate lead to? How can I get access to this gate? And you asking all these crazy questions, and then you writing on your social media, hey, I'm Jesus Christ. He wrote that. You know, I got to be like, son, I could defend you, but I think I have to defend you from this position. The position is, that seemed like suicide by a cop. And I just read out the terminology for that, and I'll read it out again if y'all want me to, but that's what it sounds like. It sounds like this kid wanted to die. Now, the question you got to ask yourself, what was going on in his home? And nobody's bringing that up. And that goes back to what I was saying again. The first thing I want to know, how old is your mama? Oh, that'll answer a lot of questions for me. Now, for people that's over 40, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, so don't act stupid. We got a lot of acting going on. And tú sabes, pero la gente Latino and blacks, they like to pretend like Latinos run around living life like it's a fucking novella. Y'all don't know that? I swear to God. Most Latinos live their life like it's a fucking novella. I'm like, this is not a novella, this is real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Siempre amor. Esa domingo, siempre amor. Esa dio, siempre amor. Que tú tienes problema, no? Fuck out of here. Anyway, listen. Most people, they live in their life through a soap opera or a TV show or the next episode of social media. And it's causing a psychosis in people. And I keep saying this, and a lot of people are not catching on to it. I've been doing this stuff about 5 years. There's no way that kid, within a 2-year span, went from looking like that to looking like this. Hold on one second. He went from looking like that, because if y'all don't realize it, this is the same person as this person. They're the same person. Y'all don't see that drastic difference in that short amount of time? He went from that to this. He went from that to this. Now, I got a couple of questions. One, when he was looking like this, did he have a daddy in his life? Two, when he was looking like this, had he gone and started staying with a female or something? Did he go start staying with some type of weird family member? Or maybe he got sent to go live with his moms? What was the case for him to go from looking like this to going to look like this? And nobody's going to have the answer to that. Nobody has the answer to that. How did that kid, first of all, if he was in my house and he went looking from that to looking like this, I'm sitting him down. The first minute I see him say some shit to Jesus Christ, hey son, yeah dad, come sit your motherfucking ass down. What dad? I said sit down. How you been feeling? Everything all right? Anybody talking to you? I heard you up in your room having a conversation with somebody, but I ain't seen no fucking body there. What's going on, son? No, son, sit down. Let's have a conversation. We need to talk about what you got planned on doing up in here. You know what I'm saying? Last night I came down to give me a glass of water. I see you pacing back and forth with the butcher knife in your hand. I'm just asking, son, are you all right? Better meet in the cops, motherfucker. Better meet in the cops. I'll call the ambulance for you. You know what I'm saying? What you saying here? Facts over feelings. Dabby, you hitting on straight facts. I still feel for him and his family. I do too. But sometimes you just gotta say, yo, sometimes it's just good goddamn police work. What the fuck was they supposed to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been that they gave him a chance. That's the whole point. They gave him a chance, but at this point, you're a 21-year-old man. You're not a kid no more. You know? See, let me tell you something. And this is the problem with coddling. And y'all gotta understand what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get some more into it too. But mothers, universally, not just black mothers, period, especially single mothers, they tend to coddle their boys more than they coddle the girls. Now, see, the girls, and that's my personal belief, girls, it doesn't matter what age their background are from. We have this talk about women getting abused. They always leave out the fact, though, the route. Listen to me very carefully. A lot of times when they have these conversations about young girls and they end up in the streets or they end up on OnlyFans or they end up getting abused or whatever the case may be, they never point back to the mothers. And the mothers are very, very profitable in these conversations. Let me tell you why. And they're paramount. Let me tell you why. Because if you ask these girls a lot of times, what part did your abuse or whatever start? They'll always point back, well, my mom. I've heard it a million times and people miss it. I've heard it mentioned on Fresh and Fit. I've heard it mentioned on other various different people, whatever. And girls will say that. They'll say, well, my mom. Their mamas will be hookers. Let me tell you something. A lot of these girls, they learn how to be the way they were because of their mothers. Their mothers were hookers. Their mothers was fast. Their mothers ran around with different men. And these girls, as they're growing up, they're visioning this. And a lot of times the men, the boys, they're raising them to be the quite opposite. They're raising the boys to be dominant over women. They're raising the boys to be vicious hard on a bitch. Just to keep it short. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes out here that you girls are dating, they're actually archetypes of what their mama wanted. They were built by their mama. So if you're wondering, I'm gonna put it this way. Ladies, best piece of advice, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice, okay? Because you might run into a nigga like this and start dating him and not even knowing it. And I owe you to that to save your life, maybe. Listen to me very carefully. Girls, if you start dating a boy, and this go for all girls, you start dating a man and he treats you wrong or he act kind of a little nutty or something like that or whatever, he do some abnormal shit that you don't find consistent with a man and you had a daddy, the first thing you need to do is start asking yourself very carefully, who were you raised by? And if he says his mama, start watching his mom for about a good week and watch her behaviors. And it'll give you an indication of what you're going to end up with this motherfucker. He is a carbon copy of that woman. All the ideals she had, all the value she holds high, and they don't have to be necessarily bad. But if they're in a negative stance, you understand what I'm saying? Notice, if y'all ever seen the movie Boys in the Hood, you ever seen that movie? Remember, what's her name, Doughboy's mom? You know what I'm saying? It was like Trey bought him a plate of the barbecue she made or whatever. He started eating the barbecue, smelled it. He said, yeah, it smells good. He started eating it. He said, she still can't make some barbecue, though. She be all right, she ain't talk so much. All that shit that was going over at their house. Or remember Brenda that had a baby in the street? You know what I'm saying? Keep your babies out the street. Bitches like that. We had a whole generation of hoes like that. Whole generations. And then when these bitches get, like, I love a chick like this, and I ain't even gonna be wrong. I hate a chick that her whole entire life, she been rambunctious, she been a horrible person, whatever. And then these bitches hit about 40, 45 years old, and they be like, I'm gonna recreate myself as a champion mother and a vigilante of it, and an envisionment of proper etiquette. I'd be like, nah, nigga, that's peaches. Is that bitch peaches? That's that bitch peaches, nigga. Peaches out here talking about she brand new. You look brand new to them niggas, but we know who you really are. And so they're forgetting the fact that all these ideas and values, with all the years that they were ratchet and shit like that, have still been invested in them and their kids. And so they'll go out and they'll go on these journeys. I'm not finished. They'll go out on these journeys of this new person they become, but forgot about all the values and shit that they instilled in their kids for years. So now, as they're trying to do their second turn in life and trying to show the world that they're this person, there's a lot of instances, not all, but there's a lot of instances, more so than the other way, that the kids end up getting in trouble, getting arrested, like that, while you on your redemption tour. And it's the funniest shit ever. Y'all ain't never seen this shit happen. Such and such senator son was arrested, or such and such whatever family member was arrested. It's very embarrassing, but things happen sometimes by accident. But my point is, you get people that try to reinvent themselves when they're like 40, 45 years old, whatever, it don't work. Just keep being the same motherfuckers. Like, like I'll give you an example. Often hear people, they'll be online or whatever, and they'll be like, well, you're 45 and you're a rapper, or you're this, or aren't you 50 and you're doing this, or whatever. Look at the Italian mob, right? When the fuck did they change up? Lucky and all these guys or whatever, none of just using that Genovese. But I'm just saying, all these guys, they were the same fucking guys until they were dead in the ground. Some of these guys died in prison. The same guys. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, you don't change up who the fuck you are. You stay who the fuck you are as an evolvement of you, and it's a beautiful fucking thing. So make no mistake about it. When you get these people that change up and try to become a new person and everything like that, a lot of times it has to do with that type of shit. It's you got so much focused on you. You're not focusing on what's going on around you. And this is what happens with a lot of working parents a lot of the times. If you have a parent, it's never a good place to have two parents that are always overly working, because now the computers are raising your kids. This kid, if we break it down with him and Nasire best, he could have been lonely. There was something that went into the psychosis of him. And that's why I say I point to his social media. There's something that went into the psychosis of him that changed him. It might have been an event in his life that changed him. There was something that sporadically changed him. And the only thing I can point to is the internet. That's it. And Nasire is not the only one like this, because whether it was the person that shot Charlie Kirk or anybody else or whatever the case may be, this the sad, unfortunate fact is, I think they're going to use this guy's shit and they're going to use it against them. They're going to use it and say, oh, he's black, so it's worse. This is the second black person that's done this in the White House, so it's worse. And in reality, no, the problem is way more thicker than what you think. But when you got at the helm, most races are uneducated, believe it or not. Most of the races you have online that are talking at the loudest, they're uneducated. You'll find that most of them don't have their degrees, because real racists, even if they're racist, the educated ones will be a lot more calmer. I've had engagements with multiple different racist folks online, multiple different times. When I say multiple different times, if you knew where to find me on a couple other places, you would know this. Facts over feelings, damn, you hit, okay, I read that. You will find that. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button. Also, if y'all dig a lot of some of the stuff I'm saying, we didn't get paid by YouTube this weekend because I guess Memorial Day weekend or whatever. So make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. We can use your likings and love. No one's going to say it's worse because the dude was black. What most people care about is the behavior, not the skin color. You must be white. You must be white. Definitely you're white. First of all, sir, respectfully, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's for one. Number two, it seems like to me you have the perfect setup and excuse for what I presumed you would say. Well, it's not because of that, even though I'm reading this post right now that says, this nigger did this, that. How much would you like to put a theory on? I tell you what, if I'm right and you said that nobody's going to say that and I'm right, you donate $100. That's my bet. You up for it? You still in the chat, right? I got $100. It says within 5 minutes, I can prove you wrong. You up for it or not? I think he's scared. $100. You willing to bet that $100? Sir? Oh, we got quiet. I told you most of the men will be talking. That's why I need more female supporters. I need new female supporters. All the men are broke that talk to me. Take your broke ass out of my chat if you ain't got no money. I don't like people like that. All the men that come to check me, all of them are broke. Every last one of them. But be out here in your chat about stop begging for cash. Or maybe y'all niggas need to start begging for cash apps. Because god damn. I can see the demographics of who follow me. I know this is a side quest real quick. But I can see who follows me. I don't know if y'all know that or not. I can literally see who you are. I'm gonna do a list and I'm gonna start calling out your names. And then that way you'll understand. No, I can see you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like some niggas be thinking they're invisible, excuse me. I'm like, no, nigga, I see you. Like, the fuck? All right, so you said that ain't nobody gonna use any racist what's the name, right? So let's put in, I'm gonna go to a particular website. I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you that somebody is gonna do that. I know what you're gonna do. I live here in a mostly white state, and I didn't always live in this area, but my area is immediately white. And I'm telling you, yes, they are. That's why I'm on here trying to tell the good people right now. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because I know what you're gonna do. They don't know what you're gonna do. I know what you're gonna do. And you're here to make sure I don't tell them what you're gonna do. And the way you do it is you come in here, nobody's gonna do that. We're all the same. We're all baby. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. All they gotta do is just find one post. Now, that wasn't easy. Combos of serious addiction issues, most potentially dangerous. Nasire's best 2x4, not all constructive convo, but he's black. This is one person wrote. Here's another one right here. Here we go. 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 You owe me $100, cocksucker. Anyway, hold on one second. He ain't gonna give it up because he ain't. Now, you know what he just said, right? Remember what he just said, right? It's not going to be used for that. Oh, what? It's not going to be used for that. Boy. Y'all go ahead and take a screenshot of that if y'all need to. Big bold post, too. See that right? Big bold post. Who's that? Didn't I tell y'all they were going to use that photo? I don't know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm about to leave this app alone. This app is for sucker niggas. Here is the idiot who tried to get to the president. 21-year-old black thug, Nasire Best, a greasy dreadlock freak from Maryland with a rap sheet who ignored his White House ban. Secret Service dropped his ass 13 to 52 animal on sight. This is what this motherfucker wrote. This is a raw black dysfunction at the fence. America's problems isn't guns, it's blacks. That's what he said. This is what he said right here. But I don't know what I'm talking about. And he wrote this. When did he put this up? When did he post this? When did he post this? He posted this 9:40 p.m. May the 23rd. This is what he posted. You can see the words right there. I don't know where you can see that, but yeah, take a screenshot up. You can just hit reverse and you can read it for yourself. That's what he wrote. Where my $100 at? You ain't got it. I know you ain't got it. Don't worry about it. I just appreciate it. If you a black white man or a white man or a broke black dude, please don't write nothing in my motherfucking what's the name challenging me or combating me. That's the only thing. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm extremely smart. All right. I come from a very, very, very on my mother's side of maybe not on my father's side as much, but my mother's side of the family, all those people are educated. Every last one of them. My great aunt was my third grade English teacher. You understand what I'm saying? I've done a whole podcast about that, homogenized or whatever. So, and I come from a military family. I didn't grow up in the projects. I didn't grow up poor, you know what I'm saying, per se or whatever. So, and that's no diss to anybody in the projects. But I'm just saying my moms and them, they worked their ass off so they wouldn't have to bring us up around that. My grandfather, when he came back from the military, he made sure that all his kids were educated. You understand what I'm saying? So, some of them use extensions of the GI Bill, shit like that or whatever. My grandfather was a mortician. So you understand, and ran a funeral home with his partner. So yeah, you're gonna miss me with that one or whatever. If you're looking for poor black people, I'll suggest this to you too. Um, First of all, I'm black and Cuban American. My dad's an immigrant, so I like you. If you know the extent of that, you'll understand a lot of things. But my point is this: let's just use the black side, right? If you chop online all the time and you're talking about like that guy right there, he used that as a catalyst to carry his argument. You're gonna have two people on the same opposing sides. Like the dude, you notice that you come on in KO or whatever the fuck his name is. You know, he ain't have nothing to say after that. He came in here and said very vividly, facts over feelings. No, that's not him. No one's going to say it's worse because the dude was black. Most people don't care about is about the behavior, not the skin color. And then I read him this. I can't make this up. You understand? I'm telling you, you're gonna have it because subsequently, that's what you're not understanding. And that's all I almost left out. You've got the commenters after this post. You understand what I'm saying? So it's crazy to me. It's blacks with guns. Democrats are trying to take away guns from white people. This is what this guy wrote. Copperhead. I wonder what Copperhead works at. Oh, hold on. Let me take. I forgot I'd be having the green screen on my phone, y'all. 1 second. I'm gonna turn this off. This is what this guy Copperhead wrote. It's the blacks with guns. White people with guns are safe though. And the more on saying walk, wound, and crawl out 3 matches the gated community and tell us he was just misunderstood by his mom. Thank God they got one. One less maniac to terrorize the public. Here's another one, J.D. Elliott. 13 out of 52 is in the entirety of the black race here in America, you dumbass. Show me an article of a newborn black baby going to do a drive-by or a 2-year-old trying to do a crime speed, and I will gladly let you. You and all you white supremacists of all your white history. Let's start there. This is a black dude writing this. I told you, you got to stop with the history lessons. They don't care about that. It was 10 people that went in on him. I wonder what they said to him. What they say to him after he wrote that. What did they say to him? Also, those little shit niggas you mentioned will clearly grow up to be violent, low IQ thugs, much like yourself. We're bringing back the old ways. This is what this man wrote. What did I just tell y'all before? You know, it's a shame I don't get more support. I don't get more likes. I don't get more cash apps or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? At least I did my part. This is what he wrote. Where does this man work at? We need to find out where he works. Does he work at a hospital? Do you work as a police officer? He said those little shits you mentioned will certainly grow up to be violent, low IQ thugs. So basically what these white men are saying is no matter if you go and you get a degree or whatever the case may be, you're a low IQ thug. And these are the same people, unfortunately, that a lot of black women, they go to their schools and everything like that, and they try to emulate these people or please them or join sides with them. They're calling your children monkey and very low IQ thugs because you give birth to them. So if they're saying this about the kids you give birth to, I don't know, what part of the coalition you don't get. You don't get it. These are the people you brag about on your own men that you work for. And these people hate your children. You're willing to sacrifice your children for your own benefit, right? Whatever makes you happy. Whatever gets you your new bag, right? I just don't understand how you could be a woman of color, go to work for motherfuckers like this every day and they hate your kids. This motherfucker works somewhere. Do you not get that? He works somewhere. And there's many other ones on here that feel the same way or whatever, evidently. And I'm not going to spend my whole night going through that. Plus, I need to let the charge or whatever. Y'all know what he did. I ain't got to go too much more into that. But he approached Secret Service agents. They gave him multiple tries. He didn't comply, and this is what happens. I gotta block this person right here. I don't want nobody here that's sitting. He's not gonna be used as that. Most people will think. I said, well, bitch, you don't know the world. And then if I had to make a guess, just looking at that person's page, it appears to me that they're probably Asians, and a lot of Asian people have here their whole entire life and pretty much know a lot of these cultures and how they operate and everything like that. They go for the idea of assimilation. And I want to say this to people that are the belief system of that here in America that are newly found immigrants. You're going to find very quickly, and I even use your own countries for examples. In Asia and in many other different places or whatever, you have social systems. These social systems are condensed into made up of different ways or whatever. Whatever these cultures are, you'll always find that the hierarchy and the creme of the creme of it is to emulate white culture, specifically not white European culture, but white American culture. And there's these beliefs that are instilled in people that rarely have ever visited America or whatever the case may be. So they get their own version of what decadent is in this country. And it's the most misconstrued, misrepresented, misfired shit I've ever seen in my life. But usually what they arc to go into is becoming racist. And the racism they try to employ is a racism that is never been hasn't been seen in this country in 30, 40 years, and sooner or later it's gonna start getting some niggas fucked up. Because what a lot of people start, like I give you an example, in my area, and I'm gonna use my own area for example, shout out to Connecticut, but it's gotta be said. We are one of these sanctuary states as well. And if you got word of it yesterday, Trump signed some orders where if you don't have your green card and you came here applying for asylum or whatever, whatever, and then the processes are going on, you got to return back to your homeland until that shit happens. And I hate to say it, I think that was one of the greatest things because, and I'll tell you why I said that. The reason I say that is because the immigrants that we for were totally different than these people we're getting here now. Um, I'm not necessarily a Trump supporter in that man on a political basis, but I am a obvious observer of certain things and that people nationwide are saying. I've heard white people say these same things. I listened to a white man the other day sit in front of some hearing and mention the same thing about how his area down in Texas, evidently there's a lot of people down there, Middle Eastern heritage. They have no interest in integrating with your culture. They have no interest in having anything but their own separate neighborhoods. I'm like, well, if you're not invested into integrating with everybody else, why don't you just stay in your country and make up your own communities there? Oh, you can't do it because you can't make that money there. The economy doesn't exist there. Or at least it wouldn't be available to you because that's the other thing too you don't get. A lot of people come from foreign countries and they work over here and they get jobs that they would never have in their own country. Anybody want to argue with that? Okay, cool. They would never have these jobs in their own countries. So they'll come over, and the first thing they do is when they start working with Bob or Jill or whoever, whatever, whatever, they'll try to assimilate themselves in the paradigm of what they think white culture is. And it's very misconstrued because what they're doing is they're doing it from a perspective of a foreigner. You understand what I'm saying? That's like me going to China tomorrow and trying to just douse myself into Chinese culture. You understand what I'm saying? And now I'm acting more Chinese than the Chinese people there. But at the same time, I don't like the Chinese people. Does that make any sense? Well, you get a lot of people that do this. There's people that come to this country that don't like white people, and they do the same thing. There's people that come to this country and they don't like black people, and they do the same thing or whatever. And you are oblivious to their background as far as their country is concerned, unless you look into it and you see the political processes that have taken place there in the past 15, 20, 30 years that will lead somebody here to thinking. Case an example, I'll give you one. Dominicans. A lot of people sit back and they talk about, oh, Dominicans sit back. I think it was, what's his name? I can't forget what his name is. I keep forgetting it. His name will come to me in a minute, but he did a joke. He was like, me, I no black, me no black, me no black. Remember that one? Yo sono negro, yo sono negrito, yo no mentizo, tú sabes, el correcto mando español, tú sabes, claro, por ahí entre latino ahí. So there's a psychology behind that. There was a guy named Trevijo. You ever heard of him? Anybody? Anybody? Trevijo wanted to do the same thing as Hitler, basically, and whiten the Dominican Republic. He was a listener of Hitler, so a supporter of Hitler to a certain extent. And he wanted to whiten up the Dominican Republic. So he said, what can I do? Oh, I know. I'll get the niggas out of here. So what he did was he would walk around. I forgot the word or the phrases especially he would use, but he had words and phrases he would use, and you would repeat those. And if you came out with an accent, that was French, and instead of being Spanish, he shoot you right there dead on the spot. He would either do it personally or he would have his soldiers do it. You can go look this up, and he killed hundreds of thousands of people in the Dominican Republic. Go look this up. He did it for about a couple years until they started intervening or whatever, and went and got his punk ass. This is the history of the Dominican Republic. Any Dominicans in here want to disagree with me? Claro que sí. Esta es su historia aquí, ¿no? Oh, okay. La historia. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, that's what happened. And so to this day, you'll get Dominicans that still believe in that rhetoric, not because they believe in it necessarily, they believe in the tenements of Trevejo. Trevejo is who they believe in. They believe in his political. See, the thing about Hitler and all those guys, Mussolini, all those guys, is the fact that even though they did atrocities, even though they did terrible things, people always mark them for their political gains in history. So they'll say, well, you know, Napoleon was terrible and he chopped off the nose of the Sphinx, but look at the accomplishments he had. You know what I'm saying? There's people like that'll write books and talk about and just fully discuss Mein Kampf. You ever seen that shit? What was the psychology behind Mein Kampf? You know, it's crazy to me, but people do this, you know, and they're going to continue to do it, and they won't stop. And it leads me to the fact that having to say things like this. If you get people that are into these types of different ideologies of superiority based on race, gender, culture, because you'll never escape it. If it's not about race, it'll be about gender. If it's not about gender, it'll be about religion. If it's not about religion, it'll be about customs. If it ain't about customs, it'll be about dressing. If it ain't about dressing, it'll be about eye color. If it ain't about eye color, it'll be about hair length, hair color. It's always going to be something the motherfuckers argue about. I don't like them motherfuckers. Why? Their toes is too long. You know what I'm saying? Cain killed Abel. You know what I mean? Why? Because he said, you know, the story will always continue to go on. You'll never end it. It's just a story that has existed since that time. Cain killed Abel. And all of it comes out of basically generally wanting to appear to be somebody, appear to be something in status or whatever, which we all reach for. It's a goal that should be eliminated from society, but instead it is continued on for eon and eon and eon and eon. It won't stop. The superiority complex. This goes all the way back to when they tried to build the Tower of Babel up into heaven, if you believe in it. There's always been a superiority complex mechanism purposely put into people, I think, for perhaps from the devil, maybe from God, maybe. And, you know, I think it makes more sense saying it's from God. You know why I say that? Because he's giving you a choice. You can do this or you can do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes that choice means you avoiding things or whatever. For those 6 people, those 6 atheists that just got out of here, shout out to y'all. Please don't come back. Please don't come back. I don't like no atheists. I don't like people that don't believe in God. If that's the way you feel, you can take off right now. It's no problem. But I will talk about this. See, if I don't talk about it like this, I can just imagine in the back of my mind what my grandmother would be saying, what my mother would be saying, and I will not supersede you for them. So you can go fuck yourself, especially if you ain't donated nothing. A lot of people, they put a lot more worth into their little views than what it is. I appreciate your view, but if you're not donating, hitting the like button or nothing like that, I don't care what you got going on. Like, for real, you can leave. Like I said, I think this voice has been put in the minds from God. And what I think is I think some of these people, they are so narcissistic. They are so far gone, they're getting recognized or whatever, that you get people like Nasire Best popping up more and more often. You can continue to get more Nasire Best. You're going to continue to get more white versions of him as well, because they've got so many different angles that they're fighting for. I don't even understand some of the different positions that are brought in front of me in some of these conversations on YouTube. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about here? You know, I really clearly don't know. And I'm lost with it. What I know about this guy, though, is I know that this guy, in my opinion, wanted to be taken out. There was something that happened to him. And I think what we're going to do is in the future, as it continues to progress and go, we're going to start finding out more and more what psychologically went wrong with this kid. And I don't know what it is. Some motherfucker called. Oh yeah, you definitely gotta go. You was in right crazy shit. Never mind, I got it. Some girl and all kind of crazy shit. Like I don't know what's wrong with these dudes. Like you can even kind of tell it when you talk. You ever listen to some of these dudes and people talk online and never thought to yourself, "Damn, you sound a little mentally ill. Like you sound a little off. Like the shit you're saying is not even coherent." I was just reading some of the shit these people be putting in their cab room. I'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck are you talking about?" It's like they just say whatever comes to their mind. Like sprinkles and chocolate. Fudge sickles and lollipops. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that's how I look at a motherfucker. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people alive? But you have to understand, Nasir Best had a whole bunch of people because he was on social media. Before he did the shooting, he was online, and there was people that hit the like button on his social media. Please remember that, okay? When y'all moving forward, just remember that. There were people on his social media that were literally, and that's the problem. You get a lot of these people that are on social media and they back these people that are crazy. He told somebody he was going to do this shit. He told somebody he was going to do this shit. He told his crowd he was going to do it. If anything, they were alluded to the fact of what he was going to do, and nobody at that point told him, "Nah, Nasir, don't do that." No, instead, today's culture and today's society, they're going to tell you, "Go ahead, fucking end it all." You know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to do for him. Guys, make sure y'all hit up that Cash App. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button. Cash App, you can hit up the super chat. I appreciate it. I'm just going to read this real quick or whatever because I thought this one was important too. Where's it at? Yeah, I read that one. That's not the one I want to read though. It was one where they had one of his friends come in here, and I thought that was as funny as I was like, "Oh, now you his friend? Now that's your man." You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I see it. What house? Who is he? Yeah, it was something like "Who is he?" or whatever. Maybe they took it down. Yeah, it looks like they took it down. There was an article up here. They had talked to one of his best friends or something like that. Let me see if I still see it, guys. Let me see here. Yeah, they must have took it down. But I will read this for you because this is kind of simple. But they had an article. I think this might be it. Hold on. They had an article and they had talked to his best friend or something like that. They said, but I don't see. For some reason, they took it away. I don't know why they took that article away. It might have been some inconsistencies in it. Sometimes when they find inconsistencies in some of these stories, they'll take the story away. Like, Google themselves will rip the story out. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Sometimes they'll take the whole story out. They don't want to listen to no more. Damn, you lose 6 people because you told them to hit the like button. I told you there's something mentally off with these people here. That's asking too much of us. You asked us to double tap the screen. No, I don't like him. I should be able to have the option of hitting the like button when I want to hit it. These people are crazy nowadays with this online shit. This shit is taking up. Yeah, here's one of the ones I was looking for. This shit is taking up people's mental spaces so deeply. It's crazy. You ask niggas to hit the like button. I'd rather log off than hit the like button. I'm not hitting a like button for you. Like, it's crazy. Who is Nasire Best, White House shooting suspect identified as 21-year-old mental health concerns? U.S. authorities have identified the individual involved in the shooting outside the White House on Saturday as 21-year-old Nasire Best, according to a report by NBC News quoting law enforcement sources. The report added that Best had a history of law enforcement and was battling mental health issues. According to authorities, the gunman opened fire on a U.S. Secret Service officer near the White House on Saturday evening before being shot dead by agents. The shooting took place roughly 1800 hours local time near 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah, he walked over there. He had to because that's I'm trying to tell you, everything on the back of that White House is the hood. Y'all don't know that, but it is. This is a short distance from the White House. I just said that. Just a short distance from the White House. He walked up there. I'm trying to tell you. What was the immediate response by law enforcement? Following the shooting, Secret Service agents quickly secured the area and evacuated journalists indoors. The FBI also deployed an assist with the response. The lockdown of the White House complex was lifted shortly after the incident, but the situation remained under active investigation. While the motive for the attack hasn't been confirmed, sources are saying that the New York Post Best is mentally troubled individual who believed he was Jesus Christ. It is known to the Secret Service that violated at the previous court order to stay away from the White House. So he had a court order to stay away from the White House as well. Officials said that the suspect approached a security checkpoint carrying a bag before producing a firearm and opening fire on officers stationed in the area. I told you he walked up there. A preliminary investigation indicates that as the individual approached, he removed a weapon from his bag and began firing at posted officers. The Secret Service said in a statement. Officer returned fire, striking the gunman, who was later taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. Authorities have not publicly identified the suspect, and investigators are now working to establish his motives and whether he had any known links to extremist groups. There's another thing, too, I want to talk to you about, or previous threats involving federal officials. Now, you understand he put extremist groups, and I want to stay there in a minute. According to Router's report, the suspect was an emotionally disturbed person and had a stay-away order previously issued against him from the White House. A bystander who also was shot in the incident, the Secret Service says, it remains unclear whether the bystander was struck by the suspect's initial gun or during the subsequent exchange of gunfire. The statement said, according to the report by CNN, the bystander has also passed away. So somebody else died, which was the bystander. He got hit too. I didn't know that part. So there was a second person that got actually hit and killed too. God bless them and their family. That's unfortunate, especially if they didn't have anything to do about it. That I wasn't aware of. What's my solution? It's going to be very hard to bend a solution out of this, because what you're going to have is you're going to have, just like I showed y'all a few minutes ago, you're going to have a lot of white individuals that are racist, not white people in general. Racist. They're going to take advantage of the story because this guy wasn't white. They're not going to have the same vigor they're not going to have the same triumphant position that they would with Charlie Kirk when his hitter showed his face, or when President Trump was now 3 times almost assassinated. They didn't show that vigor and that excitement like they're gonna do with this nigga boy here. So you gotta understand, that's what you were up against. You understand? And I read you that one, that was just a post. That was just one post. You understand what I'm saying? And you saw like how much hate it was right there. And I read off what he said in there, like, that's crazy to me. And there was subsequently other people in that post saying the same thing. That nigger, goddamn nigger, walked up to the White House. Niggas can't go to the White House. What was a nigger? Niggas built the White House. When you have these conversations, you talking about, well, goddamn niggers ain't supposed to be up at the courthouse. What was it doing up at the White House anyway? Ain't no black people all up at the White House. Black people work at the White House. And also, believe it or not, black people not only work at the White House, but black people built that White House. There's a commemorative plaque up there that acknowledges the slaves that built the White House. Did you know that? So make sure when you storm in there, like on January 6th, because y'all wasn't all pivotal about that goddamn white people that going up there and taking over the damn White House. When y'all have those conversations, make sure you employ that, all right? It was niggas that built the White House. Oh, nigga labor is always forgotten. I don't mean it like that either. Nigga labor is always forgotten. You ever notice that? Nigga labor and nigga construction is always ignored in this country. Niggas have built all kinds of shit. Niggas help with the setting up in the construction, the placing the Statue of Liberty. Niggas help with the construction of fucking Seneca Village. Niggas help with the construction of the White House. Niggas have helped with the construction of a whole bunch of shit. This is what they were here for. To help build, nigga. Crazy, man. Crazy work. I don't know much more I could say about this other than the fact that I don't know how this man felt. He might have felt lost. He might have felt alone or whatever. I can identify with that. I went through a brief period in my life when I was alone, but you cannot give up. And I think this man gave up on life. I think the people he had around him weren't strong enough to show him that you don't have to give up on life. And subsequently, this is the end that you get. Uh, Make sure that you're vigilant. I'm getting a little tired, but make sure that you're vigilant. Make sure that you go after anyone that you see trying to highlight this man as being worse than Charlie Kirk's killer or anybody else, because there's going to be them people out there that are going to try to do that. Please believe that. It's just, that's their nature. That's their job. That's what they do. You understand what I'm saying? But just be vigilant and don't come at these people with history lessons. They don't care about your fucking history lessons. And Tariq Nasheed, what's the other one? O'Shea Duke Jackson or whatever that or particularly shit. Y'all gotta get rid of that shit. That shit is a thing of the past, bro. Like, you know when y'all first came through, y'all saying, oh, this shit is the past. Y'all niggas in that approach is the past. They don't care about your little articulate arguments no more, or your pontification and all that shit or whatever. Y'all need to really get out of talking like that because it's making these niggas soft. You need to put a little man in your voice. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying, y'all niggas sound a little too soft nowadays from what I remember. So let's man it up a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay to talk about conversations about stomping the motherfucking chest in. It's all way about having conversations about how we gonna retaliate if them niggas come. You understand what I'm saying? And I think we need to lift that instead of having all these conversations about, oh, these tethers. What's going on in celebrity junk today? No. We need 24-hour monitoring on motherfuckers like Chud the Builder. We need to know what Chud the Builder is doing. What's he eating in prison? Huh? Has anybody tried to poison him? I didn't say that. Let me just say it. We got to find out things about the guy. You got to find out things about the guy and put it out there for the masses to see. Embarrass that cocksucker motherfucker just like they do you. That's my point. Is there anything wrong with that? I don't know if it was or not. Yeah, anybody got a problem with that? I just need you to be a little bit more tougher than you have been. Because a lot of these, let me tell you something. A lot of the, we somewhere around about 2021, we shifted into this soft form of vlogging. I don't like soft-core vlogging. I like hardcore vlogging. Fuck you, fuck everybody you know. I like that type of vlogging. I don't like this soft shoe vlogging that everybody does, and they're pontificating. And it's unfortunate, and given their criticisms, and my criticism for the fifth floor of the projects, here's as such. Nobody want to hear that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm dead serious. Especially the young niggas. They don't want to hear that shit. I was with young niggas last night. Everybody that I was partying with last night was everybody was at least under 30, 35 to 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, that's the crowds I fit in. Point is, they don't give a fuck about that shit you're just talking about. They really don't. What you'll get is the dummies that jump into that conversation. The reason dummies jump into those conversations because they looking for a daddy. There's a whole bunch of niggas out here looking for a daddy. It ain't hard to find. Nigga always looking to be saved. Niggas is always looking to be saved. I need a savior. Niggas is always looking to be saved. That's just the beginning of the time. You ain't got a father, you need a father figure. There's a lot of niggas out here like that. But what I need you boys to start doing, if you don't fucking mind, is toughen up this little fucking bit. Stop the pontificating and the octaves and all that soft ass shit. And stop beating your chest a little bit, because these motherfuckers are. And they want to kill you. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to use this kid as a catalyst to invoke violence or suggest violence against other people. And somebody came in here this minute ago, nobody cares about what the color is. I says, I bet you $100 they do. The motherfucker didn't happen to have the $100 and didn't even bet me. He just shut up and I read him actually what happened. Y'all can just rewind maybe about 30 minutes back and y'all see the demonstration of that. It's a collective thing. Like we collectively said we ain't marching. It's going to be collective on how you're going to fight back. I'm telling you how to fucking fight back. What are you, fucking Todd? I'm sitting here telling you how this whole fucking podcast has been how to fight. What the fuck do you mean? How do you fight back? What you tuck your legs under your nuts and then you say, oh my God, it's over. That's what you do. We're going to follow your fucking. What the fuck you mean? Why are you even fucking in here and you ain't got no fucking idea how to do it? That's even better fucking question. Where's your dad at? Listen, Stanad. I told you how to. You want me to run it back for you again? Ain't Wayne motherfucker gave me a cash app, but won't even hit the like button, but want me to run shit back. All right, I'll do it again. Fuck it, it's for free, right? Everything's for free, right? Listen, Stanods, this is how you do it. Number one, I want you to go and I want you to create pages. These pages are specifically for motherfuckers like Chud and other motherfuckers that just like him. You understand? Within these posts, I need thousands of niggas, but I need a particular type of nigga. I don't need the nigga that's in there with history lessons. Avoid them motherfuckers. The first time they come in there, block them, because he's just going to continue doing the same thing. You're not going to get a lot of people in there, but what you want is you want poignant people that know how to assist and articulate themselves in a way that's more powerful than what is at the current. Right now, the current, y'all, this is the routine. Y'all are sitting in these little groups and y'all just like, oh, Lord, this is how you translate, okay? Maybe you don't think so. Maybe you think you're saying some poignant shit. But what I'm telling you is you're not saying no poignant shit to these people that I've lived around my whole fucking life. They're laughing at you. So I'll say it for you again. They laugh at you when you make comments like this because I see 10 or 15, 20 motherfuckers attack the one motherfucker that made this comment. So niggas will be like, well, how was that? When we were the kings and the queens and we helped the Greeks out, blah, blah, blah. And then a nigga will right underneath there, a white motherfucker, or right underneath that right racist motherfucker, let me be specific, or right under there, nobody gives a fuck. And they don't. You trying to tell your history lessons to the motherfucker that took it away from you is like talking to the cops on why they arrested you. They don't give a fuck. What are you, retarded or what? And the people that are teaching this forming pattern of thinking need to be questioning itself. And then most of it has been these older niggas that have been online for the past couple of years. These older niggas have always taught niggas how to be decadent and soft. Like, I hate to say it like this, Boyce Watkins is probably one of the softest niggas in the world. I could walk up to Boyce Watkins and bust Boyce Watkins' ass if I wanted to. You understand what I'm saying? There couldn't be a motherfucking thing he could do about it. But if you look at that soft ass man, 10 years back, that cuddly teddy bear looking ass nigga, this nigga's short too. If you look at that cuddly teddy bear ass nigga, I ain't talking about what he talk about or nothing like that or whatever. That nigga ain't gonna kill nothing or let nothing die. Trust me. You understand what I'm saying? And you say, well, I was safe when I went to New York. Nigga, you was safe because we wanted you to be safe. I hate when a nigga say, yo, I was safe in New York. Nigga, ask Sneeko, was he safe? Ask some other niggas that's getting attacked, were they safe? You ain't safe up here, motherfucker. You safe because I want you to be safe. Or somebody else wants you to be safe. That's the only reason you safe. And don't you ever get that out your fucking mind. So when he jump on his line and he be like, yeah, I was safe in Chicago. I was safe over here. I was safe over there. Nah, nigga, you safe because niggas wanted you to be safe. Nigga, tell the truth. There's not one motherfucker that come to New York and I know where you at and somebody can't do something unless you got them niggas with you. And you know what I'm talking about. And even them, they got to worry about guys like us. Huh? You don't? Oh, okay. So, like I said, right? Let's get things in perspective. You guys have spent 10 years, 15 years teaching these kids how to be fucking soft and how to be these ultra gamma nerds so they can compete with other nerds. But now the nerds that they were competing with have now done something that you weren't expecting, which is they know how to go back into their mechanism and become violent. They know how to go back into their mechanism, become someone that is going to fight against you. They know how to go back into their mechanism and say, hey, listen, I know we're nerds, but I'll also pick up a shotgun. And that's where y'all are not at. Y'all trying to fight everything with fucking words as black and Latinos, and that's just not going to work for you. That's just not going to work for you. These things want to kill y'all. Do you understand? And they're going to use this man and what he did. Guarantee you, listen, you're going to be talking to me. I guarantee you this. A couple of days from now, the exact same thing that I'm saying right now, y'all going to be talking about and discussing. That's why I want to note this right now on May 23rd. The same thing that just happened with this dude, doing that it was two dudes that have done this now, they're of a color. They're going to use this as a catalyst to use it for hate. And what they're going to say is, see, we need to get all these niggas out the country. And I just showed you a post a few minutes ago to prove that same exact thing that I was talking about. And they have just been put up 3 hours ago. And y'all ain't prepared for it. Y'all more on the defensive to be on the offensive. And if you a nigga that watch fucking football, how the fuck do you not understand what the fuck I'm talking about? Jesus Christ, like it's just annoying at this point, man. You're trying to help these people. Watch, I bet you ain't nobody help me. Watch this. Yeah, not a cash app whatsoever. Only type of niggas that will get cash apps is niggas like Boy Swat, niggas like Tyreek that ain't telling you this. Y'all are gonna have to fight. And it's not gonna be a fight that you think is gonna be a war of words like these niggas been teaching you for all these years. No, you're gonna have to fight. You don't care who gives a shit.